Welcome back to the Small But Effective Podcast. Today we are joined by Jeremy Lux.
Hello.
Da-da-da!
John.
That's me.
Myself, Brady. Hello. And we're missing Brennan. He might show up, maybe. We'll see.
We're on the
And
main
we have a
server.
guest
Anybody
star.
could show up.
We'll see how much he chooses to talk. Maybe he'll crawl out of his bear cave every once in a while.
That'd be exciting.
Brown in essence and in spirit. So John was very productive today.
I'm working on it.
So tell us.
No, you said you completed it.
No, I did complete one task. So today, the misadventure started. Sarah wanted to print a picture to like a Christmas picture to send to these one people that we know that we don't see very often. So she went to turn on the computer where our pictures are, and it wouldn't fire up.
So it's Sarah's fault.
That's who I'm blaming. So I pulled the hard drive out of that machine, put it in a different machine, and powered it up, and everything looked pretty good. And then it told me Windows needed to restart, and I was like, all right, go ahead. And then the keyboard and mouse wouldn't work.
Oh.
And we're still fighting the good fight on that front. But while I was doing that, I got sick of doing it. So I had another problem. Our thermostat for the second floor of our house is like broken, and it's kind of a scary broken because it will just heat and heat and heat and heat and heat and heat. I don't know how far it'll go, but last time I caught it being bad, the thermostat was set to 62 and the room was 74.
Uh-oh.
And it hadn't shut off yet.
It's early Skynet trying to kill you.
For real.
At that point, you're like frogs in a heating pot.
Yep,
And you don't
just turn the heat up slow.
You don't realize you're getting hotter until you boil to death.
Yeah, man. Woke up one morning and was like, man, it feels warm in here. And looked, I'm like, holy balls. It's over 10 degrees hotter. So then thought it was maybe a one-time thing, powered it off, powered it back up, let it go. And then a couple days later, it did it again. And I was like, all right, fuck you. So it's just been off. I just turned it off. So our second floor hasn't had heat. We did have a space heater in the bedroom so we wouldn't freeze to death that night that it was like 5 degrees out. So I finally got around today to get a new thermostat and install it. And of course, the new thermostat's smaller than the old thermostat. So then we had painted that room. So then we had to repaint a little bit around where the thing goes because the old color was coming off and the wires didn't want to go in. And the worst part is there's these little bitty flathead screws where you put the wires in. And they're in like these recessed holes.
Right. Yeah.
I don't have a screwdriver small enough to fit in there. So I do have a glasses repair kit, which does have a small screwdriver. And that kind of worked, but I really wasn't happy with how it was working. So I got a little angry, went out to the garage, got my smallest screwdriver, and I have a grinder. So my smallest screwdriver got smaller because I took it to the grinding stone. Ground it down until it would fit in there, and I was like, yeah, manly.
That's
what I've been doing today.
Screwdriver wasn't small enough?
My smallest one wasn't little enough.
Oh.
It was horrible.
So what kind of heat do you have? Like
We have natural gas, and it is baseboard water.
Oh, okay, so it's a boiler system.
So it is a boiler system. It looks like it was probably from about 1805. Ancient. The last time it broke, it went brain dead. The little computer that tells it what to do crapped out, and the guy replaced it. It was only like $100, and he said that it's actually a very reliable system. He was basically like, if it's not broke, don't fix it because it'll just keep going forever. So I was happy to hear that. because it's simple. All it is water runs through a burner, so it's like a stove burner underneath, and then there's like what looks like a cast iron part where the water goes. The water gets super hot, and then these little pumps just take it to whatever floor it needs to go to. So as long as the thermostat doesn't say just keep running forever.
So are you sure it's
Good.
a thermostat and it wasn't that the pump itself, since it's a water pump, is stuck open?
I don't think so, because it worked. It worked normally a few times, and the thermostat like wouldn't click always. Like it makes this little click like it's supposed to, and it wasn't doing that. So I mean, it was only $25 for a new thermostat. So if that doesn't fix it, I'm only out $25.
Yeah, if that doesn't, I think that'd be the next step. So, because funny that you have this as a topic.
Ooh, oh yeah, you had furnace issues too.
I did last night. So first time my boiler went out, I have a propane for a. Don't live in the north in the winter. Okay, this is pro tip for everyone listening out there. So
That's why you get winter houses in a warmer place.
and you just
Right.
drain your water out of everything so it doesn't explode, and you leave the north and go where the alligators are. But so anyways, so mine it totally stopped igniting. The igniter went, and so I had somebody come out to look at it, and I don't know enough about the boiler to start playing with gas and explosions and things like that. And
Sissy.
I mean, I could. Well, actually, he tried to guide me on the phone. I took the igniter out. I cleaned it and everything like that to see if maybe I would just get a spark and just buy some time, but it still was giving all these fault errors and things like that. And because since it's too electronic, like your thermostat, there wasn't any direct way to fix it as far as we can tell. So we had to come out here, and we had electric space heaters going all night long. And so he came out and he worked with it. He changed the igniter, did a maintenance kit, and the whole time what it was an air-fuel mixture screw. Then there's no way to just find out that's what the issue is directly. And so that's what he found out what it was, and actually nothing needed to be replaced or changed. But it's
Boom.
working.
So it was an easy fix.
It was an easy fix that was not fixed easily.
But now you know.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and the guy's actually really good. He's all about coming out and because he's a private person, so he's not part of a company except for his own. And he's all about showing you how to do things to make his life better, so he doesn't have to come out at 2:00 in the morning and stuff like that.
Right.
So I'm surprised you're not going with a Raspberry Pi or some kind of Arduino processor setup so that you can remotely set your thermostat by phone.
No way, man. That's how Skynet kills you. If given the choice, I would have a friggin' analog switch on a timer that runs off gears that I have to wind every day. We do not automate anything. That was the scariest thing I saw today. I'm in the hardware store looking at thermostats, and here's this smart thermostat that you can tie into your phone and your tablet and everything. So freaking ISIS or Skynet or whoever wants to can change the temperature in my house to 0 up to 350 and cook me in the oven. Not happening.
Because that's what they do.
It's what you wait.
It's going to happen.
Gives domestic terrorism a whole new meaning.
So the dangers of what we're talking about living in the north. So a very close family member of mine, known as my wife, when our first 3 years of our marriage, we had a long distance relationship, and her family went down to Florida from her parents' home for the winter, and the house wasn't completely winterized, and we were total noobs. We learned a lot. And the boiler that they have is an oil boiler. So we've covered oil, natural gas, and propane so far for a boiler setup. But apparently it stopped working, and there's no monitoring device. And she went to check on the house, and after these series of really cold days, and the entire house was an ice block. The toilets were ice blocks. The pipes were frozen solid. So she had somebody come and fix it and put some space heaters, and she came and checked on it 2 hours later, and it sounded like there was a waterfall in the house. because all those
it
pipes,
started thawing off
water is one of the few liquids that when it freezes or solidifies, it expands in size.
Yes.
Fun pro tip again. This is a physics pro tip. All right, so it burst all these pipes, and it was like $30,000 worth of damage to this house. It was massive amounts of damage. It was unbelievable between the plumbing and the drywall and just looking for mold and mildew and everything else. It was obnoxious. So this is something that sounds like little tiny things. It is huge if you're going to leave your house for a period of time. Get monitoring devices, ones that will call you, ones that you can call and check on it, or drain the house so you don't have to worry about it.
It's called neighbors.
Neighbors.
If you have neighbors that you can trust and you're friends with and are close by, yes, that's. But are they going to check on the house like every 2 days?
So we had the house that's right down the road from my house. They're gone. They live down in Maryland, and 1 year we check on it every once in a while. And 1 year we went in, and the floors were just soaked. Everything was just soaked everywhere, and a pipe burst under the sink. And we had to shut off the main power and everything, and we fixed the pipe and stuff. But because they had the boiler set on a timer, so it would heat every once in a while, and it would keep things up. But something just went wrong, and it just stopped working. So luckily, we caught it before anything too. I mean, I guess that was drastic, but anything super crazy happened. But yeah, it wasn't even our house that we were fixing. It was somebody else's.
I mean, there's definitely like so much badness that can occur. It's just really not worth any of those issues.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we just heard
we were right.
Bring a ring ring. That would symbolize that perhaps there's somebody else that has joined our conversation.
Oh gosh! Well, hello.
Hello.
What have I stepped into?
Look, Brown Bear's our guest star, but he won't
Guest
say
star
anything.
Brown Bear. Well, perfect.
He so far has
have
been
any
more
horror
silent than
stories?
Sean Williams.
So
This
far,
is
we'll get you up to
fantastic.
speed.
Um,
John and Lux
hello.
are talking about their horror stories of their heating systems.
are we looking at each other's faces?
No.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. All right. Cool. I'm glad you caught me up to speed in a matter of 3 seconds. I appreciate
We're
that.
I
just
don't
that
think-
good.
This
Brennan's
is
horror story. He has a plumbing horror story.
I
Brennan's house
do.
hasn't betrayed him too much yet.
Not yet. The plumbing thing was clearly, gosh, it was awful. That was just miserable.
That got you early. You didn't even get to live there that
well,
long.
that was thanks to you, John, for solidifying that. No, that's so. Turns out the iron plumbing pipes the cast iron plumbing pipes that were here since the Civil War had roots in them, and nothing was making it to our tank. So long story short, my basement had things in it that shouldn't have been there, and
Like my turds.
and
So
And,
wait. Roots in them?
oh yeah, roots are really bad for
Pipes?
cast iron pipes. Yes.
Right. The
I
one
think
you
they're bad for.
got here.
I'm sorry. I think they're bad for all pipes.
Well, I mean, luckily, like PVC pipes are really resistant to that type of things. So, yeah, in a matter of 12 hours, I completely replaced the entire plumbing line to my septic tank, and that was fun. So, I have and had a newfound respect for plumbers. They earn every penny you pay them, so don't grief them if they come to your house.
Excellent.
Yes, and we're not going to talk about plumbing because poop sucks.
Well, with the plumbing we were talking about so far was related more to some boiler issues and a house getting frozen and pipes bursting and
Ooh.
$30,000 worth of damage that occurred afterwards. So,
Is that at Casa de Lux?
no, it's Casa de
Oh.
in-laws.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
I think you should have done what John said and lit it on fire. That would have solved it
Yep,
at least.
Walk away.
just
Get the
All
insurance
the
money.
pipes right out.
All the pipes froze? Yeah, a little arson will take care of that.
Well, just, in hindsight, I mean, we thought it was a good way to melt the ice, and maybe it got a little bit away from us. I'm not really sure.
It was a good idea. And if it feels, and you know my motto, if it feels right, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Looked good on paper.
I think antifreeze is your friend in that situation. Long-term winterization. Drain everything
that's the proper way to do it.
Antifreeze everything you can't drain.
Yeah. Look cool. I'm
Hey,
glad.
speaking of things freezing, a little off topic. Have you guys ever had on your car for the windshield wipers? Have you guys ever had your sprayers freeze to where, like, in the winter you just can't get any liquid to come out of it for your windshield?
No.
Have you checked the fluid level?
So I poured.
I think that's happened before, yeah.
Okay, but newer cars, they have like fluid level, whatchamacallits,
The
signals.
indicator light thing?
Yeah.
Turn signal
Yeah, so
fluid.
that hasn't come on, and then I also just added more fluid, and it's still. But I looked at it, and there's like, I feel like they're frozen. I feel like water has gotten in there and just clogged. Like,
Well, that's why you're not supposed to just use water to clean your windshield.
I was just going to ask that, yeah, but
It's
you were
not
filling it with the right
water.
stuff.
I got a gallon of distilled water to clean my windshield with.
Distilled,
What
yeah.
could go wrong?
I put this stuff everywhere, in the
I feel
radiator,
like I
in
need
the
to
oil.
just stand out there with a hair dryer and just melt it.
You could
let me-
wait for a warm
Just go
day.
to somebody's
alternatively.
garage.
Okay,
If somebody has a heated
but I
garage.
don't.
Yeah, you
think-
should have came to my house. I have a garage.
Wait a minute, I feel like this is applicable. Again, have you tried lighting it on fire?
I don't think a warm day is in the near future.
But it could be when you light it on fire.
It's true. Then you could be warm. You're killing two birds with one stone, essentially.
That's not very nice.
I-
And again, with PETA hating our podcast,
No, that's a phrase. We're not killing any birds.
but
We're killing cars.
they don't know that.
We're actually saving the environment.
It's true. It's true. Man, I feel positive tonight, guys. I appreciate
Yeah.
you
After
guys.
we talk about
inviting me.
lighting things on fire, are you the arsonist from Alfred?
I am.
I bet you are.
Statute of limitations have
I
far.
need to read you the rewrites.
I would be interested if you could read me my rights right now.
You have a right to suck my.
Right?
Big toe.
So, that's all we have for today.
Oh my god.
I hate computers. I
you?
hate them so
Well,
bad.
They are awful.
I'm
And
still.
great.
I got it to work once for
Oh,
a little bit, and then now it's not working again.
I'll fix it. Maybe. What do you do? Are you working tomorrow? That's doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We're doing
I'm not
something
working tomorrow.
Awesome.
I may work never again. Who knows? I'm gonna retire.
I agree with that. Hey, speaking of work, I may have a new opportunity down closer to you guys, so that's fun.
Oh, baby.
I'm
Yeah, buddy.
excited.
I'm excited. Anything to get me out of the life-sucking place I'm at now.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna be better friends now.
I think we're great friends already. Where could we go from
What
here?
does this new job entail?
What does it entail? Working with chitlins.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Are you a pedophile?
Not all the time. No. It would be at a place that serves at-risk youth, and yeah, I'd be in charge of the place, and that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Dude.
I'm very optimistic for my future. And speaking of which, now I'm a politician, so that's great too.
Oh, actually, you know what? I'd like to hear more about that.
Oh, I don't think you would. Turns out
I would.
Turns out a town, being a supervisor in a town with less than probably 400 people, there's a lot more that goes on than you think. there's charge of windmill projects, water projects, getting grants for all that stuff, and just people being angry all the time. That's a big thing.
What are they angry about?
Anything, anything
Like,
that one can be
Just
angry about.
chill.
Well, when people have a problem, it's always
It's
someone
the
else's
government's
fault.
fault.
It's never my fault if I have a problem. It's always someone else's fault. And
Well, I mean, that is kind of an okay attitude. Because
Yeah.
if everybody just accepted that, if I screw things up, it's my fault, I'm sure the suicide rate would be much higher.
yeah. So like I said, it's going to be a huge learning experience for me. But
I can say though that aspect of it, what you're saying is like as far as the blame and you start to feel the burden of responsibility is something I can relate to in my own administrative position that I'm in.
absolutely.
Maybe
I can
not
imagine.
to like it's departmental, not like community, but the same kind of precepts and the same kind of ideals and everything else. There are similarities that are there, and I would definitely say
Yeah.
that you just kind of have to grin and bear it and just say that they're blaming me because they need a focus, or they're blaming the institution because they need a focus. But
Yeah.
whenever it's an overall systems issue, it's something else, and you just try to do the best you can to try to make them feel well. But I just saw this horrible, I mean, absolutely some of the worst acting, cheesiest video ever that on the internet for ACT. So it's for when somebody has a problem, okay? So the ACT acronym, there's an acronym for everything in all these different, functions of administration. So you acknowledge, okay? That's the first part, you acknowledge. Essentially the C, you
Is it care?
it's not care. It's essentially you fix the issue. Oh, what was the C? What did it stand for?
Console.
Cut.
So,
Cut. Did you say cut?
No, that is not what he said.
No, cuck.
No, stop saying that.
That's not a bad word.
No, it's bad enough.
It's bad enough.
Lux, while you're finding that.
and it's essentially it's thank them for bringing it to your attention, and they have like all these examples, and the problem is like the video is so terrible.
Well, those are the best, the most memorable and best videos you're gonna find. And I guess as far as what is the T before I go back into my
It's thank.
it's thank.
Yeah, thank them for bringing it to your attention.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think for
that
any
is useless.
upcoming administrators or future politicians, I guess the biggest advice I would ever give you is don't promise anybody anything. That's just don't do it because then you promised them, and then if you can't do it, then you're the bad guy even more so. And that was probably the best thing that anyone ever told me, and I've only been doing it for a short time. So that's
Brandon, you don't have to be in charge of any of the road stuff, do you?
I am in charge of the guy who is the highway.
Oh yeah, but so there's a person that deals with that then.
Well, that's me.
Delegate.
I'm in charge of everything. Yeah.
Did you
tough.
fix the
So,
rusty
which
water
is no, I'm gonna have to apply for grants and all that fun stuff.
yet? Oh my gosh.
But luckily, the guy who is currently who was in the position was really at the helm there, and he was really adamant about getting things straightened out. So that's a work in progress. But essentially, it's his baby. I'm just gonna have to see it to fruition.
This sounds awful.
It's
It's
tough.
an awful.
It's tough though for all these different things because you can understand. I mean, the society we live in, you have to be taken care of in so many ways. Because I can't take care of the roads. I pay taxes so that somebody will and can take care of the roads. And so whenever things aren't to your liking, I guess you feel that entitlement where you can complain about it because you're trying to provide the funds and the resources for somebody to take care of that. And but the problem is it's very easy to jump to that without a solution or understanding the big picture because you now going into administrative position for your community, you see the big picture, you see the problems, you understand that there's a budget and why you can or can't do something.
A whole new perspective. And see, the thing, the water situation here is awful. I'm not going to get into it, but it's to a point now to where people aren't paying their water bills.
Yeah.
So that just makes it even harder because, I mean, how can you expect to charge somebody when you're not giving them a quality product? It's and you know it's not anyone's fault. It's something that has happened 20 years ago, and nothing was able to be done about it. So here we are still in the same predicament, and it's just a matter of finding the right thing to get out of it and just move forward. So, and honestly, I've never been a politician. I never thought I would be, and I'm the youngest town supervisor in New York State. Yeah, and I won by write-in. So those all things I'm extremely proud of, and yeah.
This
So-
is interesting.
Sleeping with the governor.
I'm absolutely not.
But this is the beginning, though, of something. It'll be interesting to see how things kind of grow and develop from there. And it's very easy to get disillusioned in the early goings.
Yeah, the Thurber reign of power is just beginning.
Great. Before you know it, you'll be a bitter old man like Hawk.
No, and if anything, I want to see it as a learning experience, a resume builder, and maybe I can do something good.
Once he burns
my
this
community.
town to the ground, he'll move on to the next.
It's true. I mean, that's what politicians do. You move to a bigger town, right?
I wash my hands of this foolishness.
So, gosh, how did we get here?
By write-in, apparently.
But yes, that's true.
Boom.
Exciting. Well, I just appreciate, man. You guys have been really attentive to my needs tonight, and just I feel cared about.
We're therapists.
You guys
We're
are.
here to listen.
You're playing around, so I was like, I know he'll stop in by. I was about to send you a message and you just beep booped in. So
Beep boop.
Well, I responded. Don't.
So
you guys just gotta be
actually,
patient.
I would say that that's actually two pretty good segments that are coming up on time overall, everybody.
Really.
boom. Take
Yeah.
I'm
care.
glad I made it. I was worried that I wasn't going to because nerd stuff obviously takes precedence. Sure.
Obviously.
Number one in the server, tied for first, I should say.
Oh,
Nerds.
So, on that note, I want to thank everyone for tuning in to Small But Effective Podcast. And so this is Lux, and everyone else will go with chime in. Somebody.
Chime in.
Oh,
And the
Yep. Thanks
the
for
Martini
listening.
Boys. Yes.
follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube and SoundCloud.
And we will bring you more complaining and life misery next week.
I don't know. That was a pretty positive segment, guys. I enjoyed it. I liked it.
I'm down with it.
On that note, you
See
stay
you next
classy.
time.
Stay classy.